Hello trader, welcome back to this new weekly market outlook. Last week I was very busy because I was not able to record a weekly market outlook as usual. So I decided to record the weekly market this Monday. Fortunately, this is my day off on Monday, so I can I can record this video right now. So the market has already opened. So let's start quickly with the calendar, the economic calendar. So what do we have this week? Um, Nothing special on Monday. NZD on Sunday morning we had retail sales, which comes out good. So pretty good for the growth on New Zealand. Monday you have nothing special. Tuesday some keep an eye on some ADP weekly but I don't think there is a lot of impact on the market. So I will be focusing maybe on monetary policy reports, what the Bank of England had to say. Keep an eye on this. Um, Another important news, is the inflation in Aussie, in Australia. We have inflation data. Interesting to pay attention on Wednesday. Then we have the usual unemployment claim. Let's see if I think last week we had a decreasing on unemployment claims, which is good for currency. Let's see if we continue to see the strength coming on US dollar, okay? Because this participate in the strength of dollar when we have lower unemployment is good for currency, okay? I think we also have inflation on euro to pay attention on it. Inflation on euro on Wednesday, and then we have the growth data on Canadian dollar and PPI on USD dollar. So these are the important news which could cause some impact in the market that we need to pay attention. Okay. Without further ado, let's analyze the DXY. So the DXY, what do we have on DXY? We can see we still have this channel. Price is at the bottom of this channel. It seems like this bottom of the channel is holding price. Plus, we still have this monthly demand. I'm still pointing from the beginning, which is holding price right now. So we have no reason right now to see a DXY drop. So let's go to the weekly. Weekly, we still have price doing some ping pong. As I said in my scenario, I point out in my very first video the biggest level to watch in 2026. I mentioned three scenarios. The first scenario is I mentioned three scenarios. The first scenario is we really want to see strong dollar, strong direction on dollar if we break this level on the upside, or the other level I'm looking for, the big level, is if we really break this level, we could see a very great direction on DXY. This is not the case right now. You can see price didn't close. We also have a rebound on this level. You can see we didn't close below this level. So this is back up with the last strong NFP report. I keep saying that is very give some strength on US dollar. So for this week, I expecting uh, the bulls continue on US dollar. Okay. So last week we closed bullish. You can see this the candle of the last week. We closed bullish. So for me, I expect the continuation of the bulls. Let's go to the daily. The daily, we still have this daily order flow, but remember we have this monthly demand which is holding price right now, as I said, which is holding price right now. So we have some demand we didn't touch right now, which could be test in the future, maybe this week. I don't know when. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we finally, I think we broke this level, this high, so which caused, I would say, a new order flow for our bullish from this low to this high. So this is my last order flow for our bullish. So for me, I want to see something like that, a continuation this week, at least tap this supply zone. And if price decides to go even further on the upside, we also have this level. Okay, this is my expectation on the DXY this week. If not, so the next one is EURUSD. So EURUSD, what do we have? Remember, I expect a strong dollar on this week. So for EURUSD, I expect some retracement. As I said in my last weekly market outlook, we can see on monthly time frame, price is currently at the top of this channel. You clearly see. So for me, I think price is overbought. As long as we are not breaking this order block, we can see this supply zone, which is holding price, rejecting price. You can see clearly we are rejecting price on this level. You can clearly see this is the supply. So I'm expect some bearishness of some sell-off of EURUSD back up with the strong NFP report. Okay, let's go to the weekly. Weekly, we still have, I can say, we still have a weekly order flow bullish. Okay. Do we retrace at least at the 50%? Let me grab my Fibonacci. Yeah, we already tapped the 50%, but we are not seeing a strong movement to the upside. So yeah, let's go to the daily. Daily, same thing. We have the daily order flow still bullish. We are still bullish on daily order flow. We have some demand here. We didn't test. I think euro on monthly is overbought. Let me grab Fibonacci one. You can see we already retraced at the discount zone. We pump one time. We retrace another time in a further discount zone. So let's see if buyer can get in again. But as I said, I want to see some sell-off, more sell-off on EURUSD. So in 4 hour, what do we have? We finally have a 4 hour order flow shift. You can clearly see. We seems like we already tapped the point of control of the last week, but we still have this demand, which can be target at the end of the week. It's or the next week. We don't know. As long as we have this trend on the US dollar, there is a possibility we target even this zone on a discount, on more discount zone. Okay, so what to expect on Euro USD? If I grab my tool Fibonacci from the last 4 hour order flow, which is this, let me zoom in. So if I want to sell again this market, I want to see price coming back around this premium zone. So maybe price reach there and find a setup to sell again to this level. So for this moment, I want to sell. I'm bearish, short-term bearish on Euro USD. Want to find some setup to the sell side for this week, but for that I need price to reach a certain premium zone, maybe this level or even this level. We also have some imbalance here. I'm not excluding price reaching this imbalance to try to short again. So at the end of the day, I want to find some short-term short on Euro USD to this level. Okay. So the next one is GBPUSD, the pound USD. What do we have? Same thing. We starting to have some rejection to the upside. You can see this level. Let me go to the 12 month. I mentioned this imbalance. We are rejecting. We have rejected many times this imbalance. You can see this is what's happening right now. We are rejecting again this level. I said in my last weekly market to pay attention to this level. It seems like we are rejecting, as I said, this level. Maybe we could see some sort of double top forming. I don't know, it's a possibility, but it's clear we are rejecting this zone. Okay, this level acting as a resistance. Okay, so let's go down to the weekly. What do we see in weekly time frame? Weekly time frame, we still have our last order flow weekly from this low to this high, which is bullish, but I'm not excluding some more bearishness because of the dollar to a certain discount price. Maybe it will be the discounts of this last weekly order flow. Let me you can clearly see if I extend the 50% is around this level. Maybe at the 61.8%, there is a possibility to retrace even further in discount zone. Okay, let's go to the daily. What do we have in daily? In daily, we still have the daily order flow bullish, clearly see, but we didn't close below this level. So I think there is some room to drop again. Let me explain. I can clearly see it in 4 hour, but we can see we have some imbalance right there where price could reach before dropping again, something like that. This is something I want to see. Okay, we will see more clearly on 4 hour. We have this 4 hour order flow distributing between this channel clearly. I expect some retracement around the premium zone before starting to sell again. Okay, maybe to this level. Okay, that's the kind of scenario I am seeing right now on the pound. We have reached the point of control of the last year, which is also a big resistance. Price can stop here, maybe start to rise again. There is a possibility, but it depends on what we see on US dollar. If US dollar continue to have strength, I want to see some drop again. But if you have some weakness on US dollar this week, maybe you could see some retracement around this imbalance. So that's pretty much my plan on the pound dollar, but I want to see more sell-off on pound, at least to take this low. Okay, we still have this demand which is holding price right now, but yeah, we will see what's happened on the pound. The next one is the AUD USD. AUD is still bullish. AUD is fundamentally bullish. We know that. So we are targeting this high. We are clearly bullish. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly. So what do we see? We can see the last week didn't close bearish. We still have some buyers on this market. We can clearly see. So it's very difficult to start to sell even though the US dollar is strong. So let's see on the daily. Daily we can see we have the last order flow is still bullish. You can clearly see from this low to this high we are bullish. Let's go to the 4 hour. What do we see on 4 hour? You can clearly see, yeah, some range there forming is pretty much obvious because AUD is strong. We have also the US dollar, which is also strong. So this is the result of two strong currency fighting each other. So buyers and sellers are fighting. You can clearly see. So for me, is not the pair I'm focusing right now. So I would expected some retracement when price reach the discount zone. This is what we have, but I don't think it's strong enough because we didn't. If I go to the line chart, you can clearly see. If I go to the line chart, you can clearly see the volume. We didn't very close above. You can clearly see. So we just weak this high. We didn't close. Clearly see the structure is here. We didn't really close above. So yeah, I'm not convinced on this pair. So maybe we will see another retracement to a discount zone, to this maybe to this imbalance I mark up. I think it is in 12 hour. This is the imbalance I mark up in 12 time frame. So maybe more retracement to the discount zone before taking a buy again. But as I said, in AUD is a long term, I am bullish. Short term is very difficult because we have also the dollar, which is bullish. As I said, I post last time. I post. I think my last video I post. You can see I take a counter trade, which was very risky. I managed to take a short at least from this level point of control to this discount zone, and I get out. At the moment I get out of the trade, the price, you can see price reverse immediately. So this is very risky pair because AUD and USD dollar is strong. So, but on the long term, I'm bullish. So the scenario I see, I want to see a strong closure above this high to then find a long to target finally. Yeah, finally, I think this is the monthly swing point I want to target. If not, and price decide to sell off again with due to the strength of the US dollar, I will wait price around this level and try to buy again around this imbalance zone. Okay, even further around this monthly open, you can see overlapping with this demand. You can clearly see we could have some potential buy in the long term. Okay, so that's pretty much my plan on AUD USD. I'm long term bullish. So the next one is Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar, what do we have? So Kiwi dollar, we are still bullish. You can see price is coming from this large demand zone. You can clearly see from this large demand zone. We having some kind of double bottom, which could be formed in the future. So let's go down to the weekly. Weekly, what do we have? We are still bullish, but the thing is different with Kiwi dollar compared to the AUD because last week we closed bearish, which could be a good indication of the presence of the sellers in this market this week. So maybe expect some continuation of this seller market to target at least this low or this low for this week. So I am more potentially bearish on Kiwi dollar compared to the AUD dollar. Okay. On daily, what do we have? We still have this daily order flow. Maybe a retracement around a discount zone to continue before continue the long-term trend on Kiwi dollars. So what do we have? If I take my Fibonacci from this low to this high, you can clearly see the 50% is right there. Discount zone is here. So I would not be shocked if we see some more sell-off towards this discount zone before going higher again. Okay. So that's the plan I'm seeing right now. Let's go to the 4 hour. What do we see on 4 hour? So in 4 hour, we still have, yeah, can clearly see we still have this 4 hour bullish. We break this high. We are simply retracing towards this demand zone. Maybe we could find some setup to buy Kiwi dollar again. It's a possibility, but I need to see some weakness on dollar to be able to buy this again. You can clearly see we kind of, I think in 1 hour we kind of, I think we break, pretty much break this last order flow hour, 1 hour, but I want to see some second break to be able to validate this 1 hour trend, which could be formed something like that, to start buying NZD again, NZDUSD again. So if not, I'm very cautious because the dollar is strong. So I'm not I'm not convinced of this break. Really, I'm not very convinced because we also have some discount zone where price could even drop further. So that's pretty much it on NZD. I don't see too much right there. We have we still have this demand which is holding price right now. So as I said, we already break the last 1 hour order flow. To be able to validate this, I want to see another break, a double break again to confirm the order flow bullish coming, and then maybe buy again towards this this level, even this towards this level. Okay, because remember the long term we are bullish on Kiwi. Okay, that's pretty much what I am expecting on NZD USD. The next one is USDJPY. So USDJPY is a bit different and very difficult for me to very spot the direction of the USDJPY, because we also have this probable intervention of the Bank of Japan at any moment, which could mess up my trade ideas. So let's go to the weekly. We see, for example, we closed bullish last week. For me, I'm not gonna lie, I expect a retest on this level before the drop continue. We didn't have that. This, it seems like we don't have that for this in the beginning of this week. So let's see on daily. What do we have on daily? They will, this is why I'm still bearish, because I have my order flow daily bearish. We have some retracement to the premium. I'm expect some drop, but we didn't close above this. We retrace again, so I'm still bearish. Maybe price we want to retrace even further with the strength of the US dollar, and then we could potentially see another sell-off from this supply zone. That's pretty much what I see right now on USDJPY. I want to see some price retrace even further, maybe around this yearly open, retest there at least, or retest again this supply zone, but before seeing another sell-off. But right now, I don't have really a bias on. I know USD dollar is strong, but when I check the Japanese yen basket, you can clearly see we have the Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan is here. At any moment, Bank of Japan can intervene, have some intervention on the yen, and yen could at any moment have strength on. And this is why it's very difficult for me to trade USD JPY. But I will I will stay away and let price develop a little bit more. But overall, I want to see some sell off at least to this zone. I don't know where, but preferably around this supply zone. If price could reach around there, maybe find another setup to sell this market. But right now, I'm pretty much neutral this week on USDJPY. The next one is USDCAD. So USDCAD, long term bearish, but because I have my weekly order flow bearish, you can clearly see we pretty much take this low. So this is my weekly order flow from this high to this low. So I'm expect some retracement with the strength of the dollar around this imbalance. Let me show you. Around this imbalance, you can clearly see if price decide to even retrace further, maybe around this supply zone right there, before taking a short to continue the weekly trend. Okay, but we are not there right now. What do we see on weekly? If we were based on what's happening right now in the dollar, we want to see a strength this week on the dollar. So I'm looking for buy side target, maybe not maybe, at least this imbalance, the beginning of this imbalance as my first target. I don't know if the yearly open could react. There is a possibility to pay attention to this level. On the sell side, I will use this monthly open as a support if price decide to retrace lower before going higher. So that's pretty much what I see on weekly. On daily, what do we see? With daily, we still have the daily order flow bearish. So we have the weekly order flow bearish, the daily order flow bearish. So taking a buy right there will be a counter trade. So because I'm not a big fan of counter trade, I counter trade sometime. You can see I post a video. My last video I posted, it was a breakdown on AUD USD. I break down this if you want to, if you are interested on how I counter trade. I will recommend to check this video. But I rarely counter trade, so I prefer to trade with the higher time frame trend. In this instance, for example, USDCAD, the weekly and the daily time frame show me a bearish direction. So for me, I think I will wait at least price reach around my point of interest, which is this imbalance, or even further around this supply zone to start taking the real trade with the trend, the higher time frame trade. So, but this could not exclude to take a counter trade, but I will take really a counter trade if they have some additional confluence. This is more experienced stuff, so I will not get into that right now. But in 4 hour, we can clearly see I don't have trend on 4 hour. All I see is pretty much a range. You can clearly see this is a range. We didn't break that yet. We didn't break this low, so price is stuck around this level. So that's why I don't have a order flow 4 hour right now. But I think in 1 hour we can clearly see the order flow. The order flow is kind of bullish. You can clearly see. So for the USD card, the most important trade would be the most important opportunity would be for me to wait price reach a premium zone to find a sell to this market. I'm not very comfortable with this kind of price action. I'm not very comfortable to take a buy to this zone. So I will wait price reach this zone to take a sell after. Okay. The next one is USDCHF. So USDCHF, we are bearish. You can clearly see we are bearish. Weekly, we have weekly order flow is bearish. Clearly, the last order flow daily is bearish. You can clearly see up. We are bearish on the last daily order flow. I expect some retracement to the premium zone to find another sell again. You can clearly see. So that's my plan. Let me take Fibonacci tools from this high to this low. We can clearly see we didn't tap the 50%. So at this time I thought, because the trend was very strong, so I was expecting price to really go and break this low, but we didn't break this low. We retrace again. I think price will target this low after, not here. Price sometimes do things like that. They retrace, they didn't take the low, they target, they retrace again to induce some participant in the wrong direction. I would say that like that. But it's clearly see the trend is down. The trend is bearish. So at some point, price this low will be taken. Okay. I expect at this price to retrace around this premium zone. So let's go to the 4 hour. What do we see for? We clearly see we as the same as USDCAD. We don't really have, seems like we are ranging price is stuck between this high and this low. Clearly. 4 hour, I'm expecting some bullishness, at least if the dollar continues to keep strong. I want to see some closure above this level. You can clearly see this is my plan. If I go, you can clearly see the volume is there. If price decide to close above, this will represent some kind of order block, retest, and buy at least to this level. This will be a short, I think a short 1-to-1 risk reward, which is usually the type of risk reward I take in a counter trade. So I don't want to expand too much in a counter trade. My trading counter trade need to be quick and precise. So that's pretty much the opportunity setup I see for this week. So the next one is, let's finish with commodities. The gold. Gold is, I think gold is starting to become interesting. You can clearly see the buyers came in again. Let's go to the weekly. You can clearly see the last week we closed pretty much bullish with a long wick to the downside. You can clearly see the buyers came in last week. Let's go to the daily. I was pointing out on my last weekly market this level. I said as soon as we close above this level, which is the true signal, I will say, the gold will be good to watch for buy again. So it seems like gold is in track again. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, we also have a new 4 hour order flow. So let me mark up this with pretty much a channel like that. Yeah, this start to be very interesting. We have the point of control from the last week here. So I'm expecting I want to see some retracement down there around this level before starting to buy gold. Okay. So interesting, maybe a further retracement around here. This will be my protected low. So the low where I don't want to see price to go lower to invalidate my trade. So something like that with a stop below the last 4 hour order flow. See something like that even for further. Yeah. So interesting. I keep my eyes on gold before it's starting to because it's starting to be interesting. We know that there's still tension between US and Iran in the Middle East. I think in the last news, it seems like US and Iran start to have an agreement, but I don't know. I didn't check the news, but yeah, still pay attention on this conflict, which could cause some movement on gold. But the setup. The next one is silver. Silver, like the gold, it seems like buyers came in again. Let's go. Let's go to the weekly. So weekly we closed bullish last week. Clearly see, which is could be a good sign. So expecting this level as a buy side target for this week. This is a possibility. On the sell side, maybe a retest around this level, something like that. A retest before going higher is a kind of scenario I am looking for. Let's go. We are bullish. We can clearly see from this low to this high. We have the weekly order flow bullish. We still have the 4 hour bearish, but seems like we start to range a little bit because we didn't break this high, we didn't break this low. So price is stuck between this level. We could easily doing some ping pong between this level, but the as I said for the gold, I want to see the strong break of this level to maybe start to find a buy again. So we will have some kind of channel like that to which will be very interesting. But so right now the price action on silver is not as good as the gold. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I prefer the gold right now, but waiting to break this level to start looking for buy again on silver. The next one is the US oil. So US oil we have pretty good demand I think on last week. So if I see last week we have some inventory down 9.0 million, which comes out very good than expected. We expect 1.7 million barrel on inventory. We got an inventory down 9.0 million, which proved that there was a demand last week. So let's see if this week the demand continue. So we could see a continuation of this candle, bullish candle. So let's go to the weekly. Weekly, what do we have? We can see price retest this resistance. We can clearly see we tap one time, two time, we touch, clearly see we rebound two time on this level. You see, that's why we are seeing technically a rebound of the US oil, plus the fact that we still have the tension in the Middle East between US and Iran. So on weekly we have some couple weeks, two successive weeks. We had indecision candle. The third week we have some bullish candle, which is the last week. So maybe expect a continuation of this bullishness. Okay, with the data we got last week on the inventory crude oil, we could expect some continuation to the upside, at least towards the top of the channel. You can see this descending channel. We could find a test around the top of the channel. There is a possibility. And then I take my Fibonacci from this high to this low, which is the last weekly order flow. You can clearly see we pretty much retrace around at the 50%. We are there right now, so I will not expect some rejection or maybe a further continuation to the upside, at least to take this high. Okay, let's go to the daily. The daily, what do we have? We are bullish on daily, clearly. We are bullish. Okay, you see, we are bullish on daily. So, so what I want to see is some retracement around this demand which has formed, and a rebound maybe around this level, which is coincide, which is overlapping with the top of the channel, something like that. If not, need to pay attention to this level, because if price decide to break this level, this is where we could see a sell-off on the crude oil. That's pretty much my scenario. Let's see if you have something on 4 hour. 4 you can clearly see the 4 hour is still bullish also. Yeah, so want to see some retracement around here is the same thing. Some retracement here before starting to buy again will be a nice setup. And then finishing with natural gas, I still have this bad position I am holding. I want to hold this natural gas because we are still in a winter period. So I need to find some, how could I say that? I need to find some demand coming in. We didn't have demand last week. You can clearly see the natural gas. We have 3 successive weeks with a lack of demand, which is reflecting. You can see on the chart sell-off. You can clearly see natural gas drop very hard. You can clearly see. I don't know if the winter storm could bring a demand or not, but all I want to see is some sort of signal breaking this 4 hour structure. This will be my signal to add another contract technically, but I also need some signal on fundamental to prove that there is a demand. But right now is I'm a bit cautious, because they say traders are now focused on storm development. Yes, we need to see some how storm will develop in the next week or next month. Remember, as long as we are in winter season, I want to hold this trade at least toward April or before the summer came. Okay. So that's it for my analysis for this week. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help me know that you appreciate my content. Thank you for watching. Have a nice trading week and be careful on the market. It was Josue, part-time trader. I'm out.